Good afternoon, all of my Facebook Live family, all of my social media family. Today is another Wednesday, and we have another great guest that I want you to get acquainted with. I'm Mama Rand, also known as Miss Knox, standing in for Willie Strickland. This is Forest Hill Library Facebook Live, social media live. This is our podcast live, and this is Ordinary Conversations for Extraordinary People. Okay, today I have with me Miss Christina Brown. Y'all give it up for Christina.
Hello.
Christina. We're gonna let you know a little something about Miss Christina. Miss Christina, according to her resume, and there are some things that I know about Miss Christina just meeting you casually. Uh, Christina is a highly trained multi-genre dancer and instructor. She has a performing arts background that spans a lifetime. She works for one of the largest sports brands in the country, Momentic. Is that right? Correct me if I'm making a mistake. Who is the parent company of brands like Russell Athletics, Augusta Sportswear, and a major dance wear supplier in Los Angeles. And then I'll go on down and she'll expound more on that. Um, she also she received several accolades as a highly decorated competitive dancer and cheerleader as a NCA special events team performer. And that's just a little bit about what Miss Christina's background is. And we're going to let her tell us a little more about herself and the guests that she has brought with her to enlighten you and inform you on different things that you can get involved with, different opportunities that are out there for your youth and maybe adults, whatever age range. So, Miss Christina, how are you doing today?
I am doing well today. Thank you for the introduction.
Oh yeah, it is my pleasure to have you here. I always respected your works, Miss Christina. I knew her grandmother well. We attended church at one point together, and Miss Christina offered her service when I was working with the youth at my church.
Mhm.
She offered her services free, and I just thought that it was such a blessing because I just didn't know how well she was gifted in this area, and even training and kids and the time that she took I thought was special. So I always thought that if given the opportunity, I was going to bless you as well, and so you can get your information out to the public. Y'all, let's hear a little from Miss Christina. Miss Christina, how
Yeah.
did you start this journey?
So I started this journey in the performing arts as a little kid. So, like I know you mentioned the opportunity that I had with your church to work with youth, and I started out young, like some of them. I took formal dance training at a young age, at 1.5, and I
Oh,
continue that out throughout a lifetime, meaning like going through college courses, even continuing education as an instructor now, and staying abreast and aloof on everything that's going on in the arts world. So started out really, really early. It was more so, it was one of those things that it wasn't necessarily, I think, my decision, but my mom signed me up for it and it
okay,
stuck. So
okay.
yeah.
So, is there a particular type of dance that you prefer over the
I
other?
don't necessarily prefer one over the other. Um, I absolutely respect and love all forms of dance, which is part of the reason when I created and founded Cosmopolitan Dance Theater, which is located in Fort Worth, where I also work with Sydney, which you'll get to meet here a little later. Was to create that opportunity for students to be exposed to all genres of dance, all styles, all forms, and not just dance, but the arts in general.
Okay. So, you started out, well, what was the inspiration? You said your mother
Mhm.
signed you up.
Yeah, it was.
And
I was voluntold into the position of becoming a dancer. Um, I really had these vast dreams of ice skating. Um,
okay, okay. That's
and this is going to date me. However, a long time ago, Fort Worth used to have this place called Tandy Center.
Yeah, I
Because I am
remember
a
that.
true Fort Worthian through and through. And it had an ice
You know.
skating rink. They offered ice skating lessons, and they also offered competitive ice skating and junior Olympics. And I got to the point where they were like, "Hey, she needs to come," and my mom was like, "You need to stay on dance." So she was like, when pageants come along, talent shows, things in school, where are we going to get ice for you to do your talent?
Okay.
She was like, it's not going to work. You're going to do the arts. So she pushed me to do things like Casa Manana for acting. And to continue dancing, I had the opportunity to have some amazing dance instructors over time, dancing with Fernando Schaffenberg. He was the ballet division director at TCU.
Okay, so you do ballet also.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, that's good. Let me write
Yep.
it down. Ballet. That's good. And you do ballet and what else? What other?
I all dance.
All
So
dance.
ballet, tap,
Oh,
jazz.
do you?
Uh
You
huh.
tap.
Yep, I
Okay.
do
Y'all
absolutely.
hear that?
I had an amazing, several amazing instructors, but two that I had the opportunity to study under for a really long time. Joan Nelson, she owned an amazing dance school in Arlington, Texas at the
Okay.
time. She recently passed in the last couple of years,
Okay.
but she definitely impacted my life, along with her daughter, Suzanne Nelson, and Gwen and Kara, and all the teachers that I've had through the years. Um, and that led to me having opportunities to train under other instructors like Alon Shawerka, who was the dance director at Nolan Catholic High School
Okay. Yeah, I'm
in Fort
familiar with
Worth.
all that.
Yep, she is an aficionado of Irish hard shoe, which is
Okay.
kind of like a spinoff of, or similar, I guess, in that realm of the world, um, of American tap. But if you've seen like Lord of the Dance, River Dance, those types of things,
Oh yeah.
I had the opportunity to train in
To do
that.
that?
Yeah. So,
Oh, that is so interesting.
yeah.
Miss Christina, I'm so impressed with your well-rounded skills.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so your mother focused you are an only child?
I am an only child.
Okay,
My
so
parents are
that
so lucky.
explains. So she had a lot of time to really put a
Right.
lot
Yeah.
in this
Both
one
of my
and only
parents. Yep. I'm
child.
their favorite person.
Okay, the favorite child too.
Hmm.
Okay,
Favorite child.
okay, that's wonderful. So you also ice skate, but that was not,
That was not, yeah, that was,
but not encouraged.
yeah, that
You
was
know,
not, that was,
I guess,
no.
and since they got rid of the ice skating rink, you could have gone somewhere else.
Right.
But
So I
who
guess it
knows?
worked out, right?
It worked out. I
They
think
tore it
so.
down and they got rid of it.
I think so.
Maybe she
Okay.
was clairvoyant. I don't know.
And
But dance became a big component in my life. I was able to, in middle school, be on drill team, in high school, um, able to travel to perform things like the Hula Bowl in Hawaii.
okay,
So
how
it's opened
nice.
up a vast world of opportunity,
Okay.
which has been amazing, which also sparked that fuel of love to create those opportunities for other students, other instructors that are young, so they can see the world in the same light.
Okay, so it takes a lot in preparation, or I'm asking, in my mind, I'm thinking that if I had a performance, it would take a lot. So, what all does it entail for you to get yourself prepared mentally, as
Yeah.
well? Or do you still get nervous if you have to go out there? Or do you still, well, okay, those are
I
three different
don't. I'm a
questions.
mom and
She's a
a
mom now
teacher and a
and a
director,
teacher.
more so.
Okay, so, but you don't.
That was different diets ago. So if you're a dancer, y'all get that.
Oh,
So I do not perform. I've had people that have asked in recent years,
okay.
and I go, "What diet do you think I'm on?" So I don't perform. I
But you,
inspire and teach.
okay.
I create. I do a lot of choreography. It does take a lot of preparation. A lot of the times, parents and even students will come in with that idea of what they look like as a performer in their head before their first class.
Okay.
And then you get there and you find reality may not be the same. It's not necessarily an add water situation.
Okay.
It's definitely a labor of love. It requires a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency. Um, and Sydney's probably heard me tell the students this before. Um, I was probably awful, even though I started at 1.5 until about the fourth grade. That was like the light bulb moment for me when, oh, That's what they mean by the downbeat. That's what they mean by this, because there's so many things that are going. You're learning not only the movement, you're learning spatial awareness, you're
Okay.
learning musicality. If you have an instructor, a teacher, or director that is well educated, and I was fortunate enough to have amazing instructors, you're learning history, you're learning
Okay, that's
language. So
wonderful.
you're
That's
learning
wonderful.
so much that it was just kind of like, I'm going through the motions. I think I'm doing it.
Okay.
But I also remember my parents even telling people, there it is, we have a dancer. Like, it's happened.
Okay, because
So
they
they
could
felt the
see
same
that
moment
you
too.
had
This
arrived.
is what
Okay.
we've invested in.
Okay, but you know all what it took
To get there.
for when you were preparing and
Hmm.
all. So you remember all those experiences enough
Absolutely.
that you can understand what the children are
Every
going
student,
through,
yes.
and different things that they might be
Hmm.
going through, apprehensions about even some of the ones that don't have the confidence, and so
Absolutely.
you know how to build that in you. And I'm
Absolutely.
saying that I'm talking as though I'm telling you that I know you know that, but I saw that in you in the way that you were dealing with the children
Right.
at the church. I said, well, she has a different kind of understanding, and that's what it takes, someone who's experienced it,
Absolutely.
and so you
Yes.
can know. So is it difference? How long have you been doing? How long have you been teaching or training
Yeah,
kids?
so I think you forever learn. We're always learning, growing, and evolving. Like, you're never too old to stop. So I will continually be a student, if that
Okay,
makes any
okay,
sense.
that's
Um, so as far as that journey, it's literally been since the first, heartbeat, right?
okay.
Learning in life in general, but my first dance class is again at 1.5, and continually taking training, learning, going to seminars, webinars, live events, etc. Um, Now, in regards to, I guess,
Your, I mean, so you
yeah,
decide to,
teaching
yeah, teaching.
officially, shortly after high school.
Really?
Um, in my household at least, being an only child in a two-parent household, fortunate enough to have two parents that both have college degrees,
Okay.
having grandparents that all went to college, um, but also being taught with those, what some people may consider anomalies, some people may consider to be not the norm, especially in a minority household. But always being taught that this isn't everybody's norm, but this is what our focus is to make sure that you're accomplished in who you are. Um, I didn't have a job in high school. So when it was time to, like, oh, okay, I think I need to get a job at like 19 or so, it was like, well, what skills do you have? Like, I've never really done anything. So my first job was at the Fort Worth Zoo, because again, I'm a true Fort Worthian. So all things Fort Worth, I'm totally pro. For the most part, I love Fort Worth.
So you don't plan on
um,
leaving
I
Texas?
don't plan on leaving Texas. Even the person that I married, they're from Arkansas, and they haven't been able to drag me to Arkansas. So we are here. Um, but that being said, I worked there. I loved it. I had the opportunity to translate. I worked the front gate, but it doesn't pay like the arts. A lot of people always say that the phrase starving artist.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
because we're gig workers in a sense. So that is somewhat true. But your talent, your skills, they do have a return on that investment. So when you are working and when you do have opportunities, it's plentiful. It's great. Um, and I remember sitting down going, what could I do? Like,
Okay.
what can I do outside of, like, doing this? Because I didn't want to flip burgers. And then, because my parents were always like, all your friends are going to be flipping burgers. And my dad was like, I was a lifeguard. So that was cool. And he got good money. My mom was like, well, everybody else was hot and flipping burgers. That's what they'd always say. Even though we patronize all these businesses, every job is important. Um, she was like, I was teaching ballet at the YMCA.
Who was?
My mom, because she danced too, which is
Oh, I
why,
didn't know
ice
that.
skating
Oh,
was
how
like not a
nice.
thing, right?
So you
She was
didn't
in
tell us that
pageants,
you came from a family
a
of,
family that does these
yeah.
things, right? So I was like, oh, I might be able to teach dance. Like, I've got like 17 years under the belt. I've been doing this. So I had the opportunity to teach. Um, and that's what sparked it. I taught for other places, other studios, other entities. Um, and I love the children.
Oh yeah.
I really, really did. I even did volunteer work with children as a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Fort Worth ISD at the time had a mentor program where you could go into the school So I did that. Um, but I
That's
wanted
wonderful.
to reach all children. And in the spaces that I was teaching, there was a lack of diversity,
Okay.
and there was a lack of cultural understanding for different types of children.
Okay.
And so after my first season of teaching for someone else, that is what sparked me to go, I'm going to try to teach independent.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. And so you started, I bet that was a challenge. I know you had good parental support.
absolutely. Yeah.
Some people don't. And so I'm going to ask you probably, what advice would you give them, the ones who are just trying to start out? Because I know, even though you had support,
Yeah.
and it's difficult for ones who don't have it. But the whole process had to be a tedious task, just trying to get it together. And how were you able to get the kids who were gonna participate, your participants? How were
It
you?
was very grassroots.
Okay,
I would say anybody who's wanting to start any business, um, your only limitation is you.
okay, that's a
Um,
good point. That's a good
you
point.
have the aptitude.
Look at
Everything
that.
is possible.
That's right.
Um, there's a song that my kids have heard of, that says, "I am a promise. I am a possibility. I can be anything I want to be." And that's true.
Okay.
Realistically, I know a lot of times people put a marker on people because of maybe their gender, maybe their race, maybe their religion, whatever it may be. Um, but during that journey, it was okay, I can read, right? I can research. I can reach out to SBA. What resources are out there? Got to figure out how to file a DBA. How much does that cost? Oh, I can do that. How much does it cost? Oh, I can't do that today if I want to incorporate. But let's get some students and maybe we can. So now we're an LLC. So things like that. Reading, research, taking that time, visiting spaces just like this, the public library system, a lot of times people don't realize have resources that are available to aspiring entrepreneurs. So I did all of those things. So it was very, very humble,
Yeah.
very much so a, I'm starting to teach dance, y'all. And my parents are like, all right.
That's that's.
My dad was like, oh Lord, she's still doing this dance thing. She's never
He
gonna make
practiced.
it. I don't know why she loves it so much. Seems like she would have outgrown it because all my friends keep saying, hasn't she outgrown it? Like she's still doing it. Why is she buying tutus? Why is this happening? Um, so that is kind of where I started. Is just literally the idea, utilizing that brain power, looking for resources in the community. As far as getting the students, I remember my first month of ever teaching. I had one student the first month. Her name was Cruz. I remember all my students, by the way.
Oh, that's
You could have taken from me
that's
15, 20 years ago. I know my babies for
okay.
life.
That's
And some of
wonderful.
them are young adults, but I know them. Um, absolutely. And I know them fast. So teachers that I work with will also go, we literally just met all 60 of these kids today. And
And you know
I
them.
know all their names. So
Wow.
she was my first student. I was in Park and Rec for Fort Worth.
Okay.
That was where I had the opportunity to find a space and actually teach. Um, and then I said, Cruz, stick with me. Our classes they're going to grow. At the end of that year, I had 60 kids,
Oh wow.
and it was from literally, here's a flyer, going to the different places. Hey, can I put this flyer here? Or hey, can I put these in mailboxes? Hey, can I give this? It was literally beating the
Just
pavement. It
boots
was
on the
it
ground. You just going.
exactly boots
That's
on the ground without
That's
the
one.
fan.
Okay.
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
that is wonderful, Miss Christina. I like the way you talk. You could be an inspirational speaker. Some of the things you
Oh,
seem like you just wise beyond your years.
I've always been
I know.
old.
Oh yeah, because
I've always been old. I tell everybody that. Um,
even the way your confidence.
Thank you.
That's something that took me time to develop, and I guess I'm as old as I am, and I'm not telling. But it seemed like I didn't get there until not too long ago. And it seemed like some of the things that you were saying would have been some of the things that I'm just trying to develop to get to. But I like
Gotcha.
that.
Thank you.
I like
Thank you.
that. And you have to encourage kids and encourage yourself. So you have all this. That's
Thank
good.
you.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Your parents did a great job of molding and modeling
I
and
did have
making
great
you know.
parents. I also attribute it to, and I know a lot of people that I've met through my lifetime didn't have the same family
Yeah.
dynamic. Um, but even though I was an only child, I had the opportunity that both my maternal and paternal grandparents lived within like a 10-minute radius. My great grandparents, up until I was maybe 8, they lived within a bike ride of my house.
Okay. So
So yeah,
all of them had
mhm,
hands-on input
right,
into rearing and
exactly,
shaping. That's
exactly.
good.
So
That's good. That
I
family
had
dynamic.
grandparents my entire life up until the last maybe 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah,
That's good. So they help develop
grandparents and
you.
great grandparents. So that's probably a major impact to have those connections and get their wisdom throughout
Yeah.
my lifetime.
Okay, so how do you so with these the dance groups, so is it competitive dance or I mean, and do you create, is it improvisation, or do you choreograph? How do you get the kids to perform?
Consistency in the class
You come up
is
with the
huge.
routine?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So I do the choreography for a lot of our things. We do have other instructors in Cosmopolitan. It's been a great season for us.
Well, tell us
Um,
about Cosmopolitan because I
yeah,
know you have a guest here. So I'm going to let you just go ahead and
yeah,
tell us about
absolutely.
that.
So Cosmopolitan, we offer dance, we offer acting,
Oh,
we have students that are in music,
what is the age limit for acting?
vocal performance. Actually, there is an option for adults. And we will be doing some production. So if you're
Still got a
interested
chance.
in that, we will be posting soon in regard to monologue shows for adult actors.
Oh,
So that's a good
my.
question. um, but we offer a wide range of things. Um, and that's why I don't really have a limitation on what I teach. It's
Okay.
because of my background. Also, have had the opportunity to be an adjunct at Tarrant County College,
Okay.
and also taught senior education. But Cosmopolitan is obviously
You talk
our
senior
home.
education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what
Yep.
does that involve?
That involves the 55 and up community. And I was able to teach ballroom. And so,
Ballroom dance.
ballroom
Oh
dance.
my
So,
gosh.
dancing with the stars, the senior
Oh my
stars.
gosh. Let's do it. Let's do it, Farsia Library. Let's do it.
We should absolutely. We should
Oh,
absolutely. We also have another amazing instructor at Cosmopolitan, Mr. Marcellus, who's not here today. He's fantastic and well accomplished as well in ballroom dance. So he
oh my
travels
gosh.
and works also at a ballroom studio. He's fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we do have a Latin dance troupe for youth. So bachata, salsa, merengue,
And
that
let me
type of thing.
interject this point. She speaks Spanish fluently.
Yes.
When I called and she answered and she was speaking, I said, "Wait a minute, is this the
It's the
same
wrong
person?
number.
Is this?" Yeah, that's what I really thought. This is the
Yeah.
wrong number, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought
Yeah.
this must be AI before its time. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but either way, she speaks Spanish fluently, so she's able to reach out to a broad range of communities, and
Right.
so you can go
Absolutely.
ahead and introduce.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
That so with that being said, that is so true. Um, More recently when I meet people, I do try to give the disclaimer to let them know, like, hey, if you call me and it says este mensaje se repite en español, it's still me. Okay. Um, we don't all look the same. So
Yeah,
there's not one prototype
yeah.
for Spanish speaking Americans, Hispanic, Latinos, Caribe, whatever you consider your label to be. Um, but I've always spoke Spanish just like I've spoken English. So we do offer classes that
So you
are
took Spanish.
translated.
How did you learn it, or
I've
you
I've learned it just in life. Yeah, just
really?
in life. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you didn't take no formal training or classes?
I mean, everybody does in Texas,
I
right?
tried. No,
They offer it in class. They offer it at school. You got to have that requirement for graduation.
no, but I know. But we
But
get
yeah,
out and
no,
we
I
know the
didn't get it.
basics.
Like I didn't go to college and get a degree in it or go through some fancy
But
program. It was just life. Yeah,
well, that was the
life.
determination because I've been trying, and I
Hmm.
just I'm limited. Like to.
Gotcha.
But do you train your kids or your kids?
My
Oh, that
kids have, well, my oldest does, and I look that way because they're here. I know you're on like, why does she keep looking over there every time she says her kids? They're over
this is our Facebook family. They know we look every which way. We in Forest Hill Library, so they know we
there.
a lot of things are
But
going on.
no, yes, they do. My oldest does speak and understand Spanish really, really well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
My
Keep it
youngest
up. Keep up
is
the good work.
working on it. He's more motivated because with Cosmopolitan, we had the opportunity to go to Mexico. We just got
Oh,
back over the weekend.
okay.
It's been fantastic. And he's like, I need to learn Spanish. And I was like, I've been telling you. I've been
Okay.
telling you. So he's finally going to apply himself. It's his 11th
Excuse
year
me.
of life.
I'm
So
sorry.
he's going to be 11 on August the 1st. And he's going to learn Spanish, which is great.
That is.
But yeah, I've had relatives that speak Spanish.
I'm
Um,
impressed. I like it. I really
Great
do.
grandparents that spoke Spanish. And then because of that and that cultural connection, outside of obviously aesthetically being 100% African American, there is an Afro Hispanic community, Afro Latin community, Afro Caribbean community. Again, whatever label you choose, right? We get marked with a lot of things. It gave me the opportunity to work at Fort Worth's oldest and only running Latin Cultural Center,
Wow.
located on the north side. And I had the fantastic opportunity of meeting Miss Sydney
Okay,
Hernandez.
y'all give it up for Miss Sydney. I can't pronounce Orlando. That's good. That's good, Sydney.
And she's fantastic. So she actually now is at Cosmopolitan, where she is in charge of all things ASL. We've done some amazing projects with Brown Girls Do Ballet, and she's been featured for her work in doing an ASL dance.
Okay.
Because all parts of your body can dance, even your
ASL meaning
fingers.
what? We just gonna
American
assume.
Sign Language, yes.
Oh wow, that's right. That's
Mm-hmm,
right. That's good.
absolutely. Um, and then she runs our theater department, so she can tell you a little bit more about her.
That is so impressive.
Oh gosh, about myself.
Yeah.
Well, as Christina said, my name is Cindy Hernandez. My way into the fine arts industry, it was a little bit different than Christina's. I was in sixth grade. I was in band, so I played the flute for. I've been playing the flute since sixth grade. So I got into music, but I really did like theater and I like dance. My parents pulled me and my sister out of dance when we were younger. One, we were the only Hispanic kids in class, so we did suffer a little bit of discrimination with that, and our dance teacher was not Christina. So yeah, so we didn't get the best experience. So we were pulled out. Um, but then as years get older, I was in a special program at Fort Worth ISD when I was in high school. They would send me and a whole bunch of other kids who were in this program. They would send us out to elementary schools and we would teach based on a
Oh,
variety of subjects. So I've been teaching since I was 15. So
so
yeah.
were there qualifications, or they just what did they see in you that?
So
Uh,
for us, we were part of the Gold Seal program of choice, but we were a part of the teaching and learning program. So we were the students that knew we wanted to be teachers at 15, 14 years old. And we would go through the program all 4 years in high school. And for us, for my class, whenever we were freshmen, we had to sign a contract in order for us to go into the elementary schools. And that's
so
basically
you
how
were
I got
teaching
into it.
theater, or you were teaching English?
I was teaching basic subjects at that point. But
I never heard of that. That's interesting.
yeah. But how I got fluent in ASL was a whole other story that I could go in depth with, but I'm gonna summarize. I do have a deaf cousin in my family. I met her when she was 10 and I was 7. And I was like, I want to be able to communicate with her. So I taught myself sign language for the
That
first
is so interesting.
time. And then when I was in 8th grade, which I believe was 2012. Ooh, that's saying my age a little too much.
We're not telling ages. I'm
back
not.
back in 2011, 2012, I basically was one of the selected students because they just implemented American Sign Language classes back into the schools.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
okay.
I was one of the selected students to take the class to see if it could be taught. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I automatically got an A in the class.
Okay.
So I took ASL all the way up to the interpreting level in college. I got two certifications basically saying I'm fluent, I could teach it.
Oh,
So I did
wow.
it.
That is
Yep.
wonderful. That is wonderful, Miss Chris. I mean,
Yeah.
Miss
Sydney.
Sydney. Okay.
Sydney.
Okay. I
Yes.
get it.
Yes. And then getting into fine arts, unfortunately, I didn't get my interpreting license for the state of Texas because that is different than certification saying you could teach it. So I went back to college to get my bachelor's degree, and I got into the fine arts program programs, and I went to Texas Wesleyan, and I just graduated with my
All right.
bachelor's degree in May.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
yes,
wonderful. Wonderful.
and honestly, it has been an amazing experience for that because going back into what I actually love to do, I met Christina through that. Through getting into theater where I specialize in theater as stage management. So meaning I am over the whole production. I help the director out. I make
Oh,
sure everything
wow.
runs smoothly.
She runs the show.
Yep,
Oh, that
basically
is
how it is.
wonderful.
Yep. I stage manage. I am a playwright. I'm a director. I'm an actor.
Oh,
And
wow.
with all of my knowledge inside of theater, Christina actually wanted to partner with me over my winter break, where I would teach American Sign Language music covers to her Cosmo students. And so I went, and when Christina says it's a humbling moment, it is a humbling moment because that was the first class I was going to teach at Cosmo, but no one showed up that day.
No one.
No one
Okay.
showed up
They
that
missed
day.
Wait.
the opportunity.
Yep.
Okay.
So
You're teaching this to kids who are already here.
I do
Okay.
that
You
too.
just preparing them
Mhm.
for what they might encounter.
There was the
Yes.
So you're not
opportunity
teaching them
to
to.
communicate.
Yes.
Okay. That's
hmm
good. That's wonderful.
hmm And then on February 8th, I started my all ages theater class and at Cosmo, and actually my first students in my class were her sons. So
Okay.
yes,
Well,
I
that's
met her
what.
sons back at Art Days, and I instantly fell in love with her boys because oh, they're amazing to work with, and being able to say that I have had the honor to teach her boys, and her boys make me feel like an older sister sometimes. Being able to say that I have the connection with her boys, and Christina makes me feel like a daughter, and it has been an amazing experience to work at Cosmo because of that.
So
So
what are
yeah.
you teaching? What are you concentrating on?
I teach the basics of theater, and I teach improvisational
Okay.
skills,
Okay. Okay.
and I teach script recitation
Okay.
for that, and I teach technical theater as well because
Okay. That's
technical
wonderful.
theater is a whole different world from yeah, because it teaches you the ability to build sets on stage and being able to make sure everything is safe for the actors, director, and everybody.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yes.
So how do you get the word out to people alone? I mean, aside from this podcast, which is going to reach millions, and as a result, you're going to get a lot of people probably trying to get on in your studios
Yeah.
as a result of
Oh
Fars Here.
yeah.
Y'all remember this Fars Here live podcast? So, but how normally do you get the word out? Because actually, I don't know if I hadn't contacted you, I might not have known about it. And I know of a lot of youth.
Yeah.
So how do you normally get it out that what great things you're doing in this?
Oh, in order to see everything that we do at Cosmo, you can reach us on any of our social medias at Cosmo
Okay, you
FW.
do. Okay, all right.
Cosmo DFW. We try our best to post everything that we do. We're trying to be better at posting, which we are better. Yes.
I
But yeah.
see, and that's part of your training with her son. He's
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
doing some of
Yes.
the video. So that's
But
wonderful.
yeah.
I'm truly impressed. So have you ever Have you performed live in any capacity or?
I have acted at Texas Wesleyan before. That is the only
Okay.
time that I have acted
Okay.
ever. Um, but I will say I have stage managed at multiple places around DFW. I have stage managed at Casa Mañana. I have
Okay.
stage managed at Hip Pocket Theater. I am her personal stage manager. um, and
And Casa Mayana, if for
yes.
those of you who don't know, because we have a variety of people in different areas that not for Fort Worth, Casa Mayana is where to. I mean, we just getting the information out there.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies.
It's just a small
Yeah. Casa
football.
Manana is like one of the biggest theaters in the DFW
Oh,
area.
I said
Yeah,
small.
is one of the biggest theaters in DFW. Um, but yeah, I have stage managed at Artes de la Rosa, which is where me and Christina met. Um, and I have that's basically where I've stage managed
And
mostly.
y'all met and just hit it off right there. You
I knew
knew.
she was special. I knew there's something
Yes.
about her. I could see
Mhm.
how amazing she was. Yeah,
And
we
you.
met, and I absolutely could tell how amazing she was. I saw her work ethic. I saw her level of professionalism. The production that we were working on was a telenovela, for those who know what that is. And she came in probably in the last hour with amazing production skills. She
Okay.
was just fantastic. And there's a program that we work with in Fort Worth ISD with Cosmopolitan that actually gives the opportunity for children across several campuses at Fort Worth ISD to have classes on Fridays. So
Oh.
I initially reached out to her to see if she would be interested because the lead for that, which is Lori Bevan, she's amazing. She's the director of Imagination Fort Worth that we get to partner with on some amazing projects. Um, she's just outstanding in everything that she does and the opportunities that she does bring to the Fort Worth community, Tarrant County community, and even across the state. Um, and I said, hey, I know somebody is going to be fantastic. It just didn't work for Sydney's schedule
Yeah.
at the time
Okay.
to go and teach. But now she's here, so she's going to have even more opportunities in the future. We still get to do that, but that's how we kind of linked up.
That's
Because she
wonderful.
reached out later and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
that opportunity's already gone, but I've got you for the next one." And then we had the amazing opportunity to work with Takia Wallace. If anybody ever follows Brown Girls Do Ballet, it's an amazing
That's locally too.
initiative.
That's local.
She's based out of Fort Worth.
Okay.
She's actually been featured on like the Kelly Clarkson show.
Okay.
A lot of big media outlets have featured her cause.
Okay.
And so we had the opportunity as Cosmopolitan to facilitate their first summer dance intensive, which was super, super special to both of us because it was one of her first projects that was really a bigger project to work on. And then it was also special in the sense that there were children of all walks of life, all backgrounds that had the opportunity to be in get a deep dive really into the world of the arts from multiple aspects. They learned ASL during that week. They learned African dance a little bit that week. They learned ballet.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They had the opportunity to learn a little salsa. They learned modern. And then at the end of the week, they had a full production of everything. So it was like the culmination of all their hard work.
Wow.
And so that was a great opportunity. So we get to do a lot together and we get to do a lot in the community.
Okay, so where exactly is your studio? Is it a
Yeah. So our brick and mortar is located at 2924 Cleburne Road, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. We also have a website so people want to check us out online. It's Cosmopolitan. Now I know it's a long word. Dance theater, and we spell theater with the TRE on the ending.com. You can check us out there. Another easy way to connect to us is on social media at Cosmo DFW. So if you're on Facebook or Instagram, just look up or at Cosmo DFW and we will pop up. Or you can give us a call. We're really great about responding to phone calls, text messages, whatever smoke signals you may send out. But the number is 817
and I oh,
443 8591.
and I know they'll post it, so they're gonna post
Yeah,
all this
absolutely.
information on the
That'd be great.
on their website. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm impressed. So, are there any moments that really stood out for you in your career that you think were the highlights of your career and disappointing moments?
Um, there's not a lot of disappointing moments. I think I'll start with
That's
that.
wonderful.
Um, I guess when there are parents who can't see the impact that the arts have on their children and the positive impact, or they feel like, oh my God, they're not amazing today. So I'm going to take them out of it. Or if they don't voice their concern that maybe finance is the obstacle. We also have like fundraisers and things that we do in the studio. We never want finance to be a reason for students to not attend a class. We've got some great partnerships where there's even scholarship opportunities for students. We don't heavily advertise it, but we never want that to be the obstacle. And so that's probably the most disappointing when I hear that a kid walked away from something and I
Okay.
see them maybe 2, 3 years later and they're like, Miss, I loved your class. But
Okay.
my
But
mom said she couldn't take me
yeah.
anymore because of gas, or she couldn't take me anymore
Okay.
because of finance. So
Okay.
that's probably one of the things that could be disappointing. But we have a lot of like big moments. And some of the big moments may be small, but because we teach children of all ages, when I have that child that has maybe they're a little more introverted,
Okay.
maybe they're a little more shy. Maybe they're not as outgoing as Aya, and as confident to talk in
I
class. Aya is her granddaughter,
and
who
she
also
talks
takes,
a
yeah,
lot.
she's a little chatty. She's super confident in who she is. Um, she loves to be the line leader. Aya likes to hear herself talk and make sure that everybody else gets to hear her, which ballerinas are not noisy. And I always remind them that, oh, you thought that this was acting, this is dance. Dancers don't talk on stage. Gotta go to her class to talk. But Aya tends to chat a lot. But when I have a kid that's not like that, that maybe just needs a little extra nurturing and love, when I get to see them grow and evolve, and see them get those kinder readiness skills,
Okay.
have that confidence to follow instructions, to listen, or to voice their opinions, even if it doesn't happen in kinder, maybe it happens at an older age and I see them blossom, and realize how awesome they are. Those are probably some of my highlights. Um, on paper, I guess, when people look at like, well, what did you really accomplish? Like you had a warm and fuzzy that you felt was an accomplishment. Cosmopolitan has been featured for a night of Black excellence for Fort Worth Opera, for a couple of years,
Okay.
while they had that. So if you ever had the opportunity to participate in that, we had the fantastic opportunity of being those ballerinas that were on stage.
Okay.
It gave us the opportunity to meet amazing opera singers. We got to perform with an opera singer named Brandy. She's been featured at the Metropolitan Opera House, the Paris Opera House. She's well renowned, which was amazing. And we're grateful for that opportunity. We were able to connect with Mrs. Dipsworth,
Oh yeah.
Sharon
Yeah.
Goodspeed Keaton. She's
So your
amazing.
paths have crossed.
We've
I didn't
crossed,
paths has
yes.
crossed. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I
So we've
didn't
had
know
that
that.
opportunity. So if you've ever seen Mrs. Dipsworth's opening credits for the actors and some
She
of the
was a guest on this
dancers.
show once
Oh,
earlier.
okay.
Yeah, she
Absolutely.
was.
So yeah, you guys know good people then out there, that are following this page. But
Yeah.
yeah, she
People.
was fantastic. The kids were loved it. They learned how to slate. They learned how to be on camera, which is also something that Sydney does in her broadcast class in the theater realm. So that's been a big moment. We've also had the opportunity to be featured in live Fort Worth grassroots events, like Fort Worth Parade of Lights. Um, In addition to that, the kids have performed for the Dallas Mavericks pregame shows. We do studio night out, which is always fun. The dads love that one. If they don't come to anything else,
And what is that studio?
studio night out. So it is open to the entire family,
Okay.
and the kids perform at a live professional and semi-pro event because we do two this season. We're going to a hockey game, and
Okay.
we're going to a basketball game.
Okay.
But they get to perform,
That's nice.
and dads love it because they're sports fans. Even that's the one time that if you're a girl dad, that the dads are like, "We love you, Miss Christina," and I'm so glad she's a ballerina,
Oh wow.
because they get to go to the game. Our most recent, because we try to do a lot of life experience things that are going to teach the kids to be well rounded as a whole. We just got back, as I mentioned, from Mexico. Um, we went to nationals at sea, which was fantastic. So our littles had the
So what
opportunity.
nationals?
Nationals. So we went to competition. So I know you mentioned, like, do you
Yeah,
just
that's what I
dance
was
for the
gonna ask
fun of
about.
it, or what do we do? So our dancers got to go to nationals at sea and compete for national ranking. Our youngest dancer who attended was 4 years old.
Okay.
And they did really, really well. They placed first place in their category, and then
Okay.
they got a first place national overall
Oh, that's wonderful.
award as
That would have
well.
been the
And then,
first thing I told. Hey, my dancers. That's
so yeah,
wonderful.
so that's our studio
So you're
trip.
not like dance mom,
We're
or not?
not. No,
You
no, no,
so
no, no. We have a no drama policy. It's official,
okay? No
unofficial,
drama
so
policy.
everybody gets along. I know
That's
that sounds
good.
weird, but
That
we
takes
get along.
skills in itself
Right,
to
that's
do that.
true. That
To
is true. So yeah, we've done that, and our oldest dancer who got to go on the trip was 19. She actually had graduated, gone off to college. She's at the University of Houston. Her name is Abigail, an amazing dancer, well
she remembers all
accomplished.
their names.
I
I
do.
know.
They're all my kids. And she's on their K-pop dance team at the University of Houston.
Oh, that's nice.
When she found out that we were doing a studio trip, which now we're going to take annually, she was like, "I'm going. I'm competing. Sign me up." So she came back to dance, and some of my kids never leave. They end up working, coming
And then
back after
coming
their
back and
breaks to
just
teach
working
and to
with
be a
you.
part of something, because it's home. I always tell them I'm your mama when you get here, even if you're 18, 19. I become their mom, so I'm their dance mom when they get there, so they come back home.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's been a great experience. And this year we'll get to go to, or 2026, our studio trip, we'll get to go to the Bahamas. And that's going to be
Oh,
fun.
how fun.
And they'll get to take classes.
And what did you say the age limit was? No, I'm just
Well, that's open for
no.
their studio trip. So all our family members get to go. So dancers, their moms, their dads, their siblings,
Oh, how
they were
nice.
grandparents on the trip as well. So
Okay, that's
that way you
nice.
can get to see them. You get to see them dance. They compete. You get to see them for their awards. So if their dance is selected for a judge's favorite, they get to
Okay.
perform on the cruise ship. So
Oh, that's
it's been a
fun.
fantastic opportunity.
That is fun. I've been on cruises and seen some of the shows. That's a
Yeah.
creative, innovative idea to do that.
Yes, it's fun.
Okay, what about I know you mentioned something about scholarship
We do.
that connect some of your kids and they're
Right?
able to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. So we do. We've been fortunate through the years to have people that have done donations. We've also done some fundraising drives that have helped fuel that pot for people to do that. Also, all of the children that do take classes from us at Fort Worth ISD on Fridays through Imagination Fort Worth, they are all scholarship. We encounter hundreds of children throughout the week. And then inside of the studio, there's also other opportunities that you guys can link to. If you reach out to Brown Girls Do Ballet, again, it's a great resource. They also have community classes that are available that are offered as well.
Okay, that's good. So that's y'all get donations coming in for the
We do.
scholarship.
We
If
do.
they
We do.
okay, that's good. I was just wondering how you. Okay, and I have some questions.
Yeah.
Some people writing their questions. They said, "How do you balance teaching fundamentals with encouraging creativity?"
Is this for theater or?
Is it for both?
Okay, well, we'll get an answer from both since they didn't specify.
Okay.
How do you balance
I know
that?
you mentioned fundamentals.
Yeah.
So we balance it because of the fact that we are obviously fundamentals are essential. So one of the things that I always mention in the dance program is, because dancers come in, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, you have that idea. Um, I had this amazing dancer named Isabella. Um, when she came into dance, she was like 5 or 6 years old. Um, the task was to stand in first position, one of the basics, right? First position, feet in first, chest lifted, hands on ball. For my dancers that are here that know what I'm talking about. Um, so she'd always be wiggling. She's always moving. She's always doing a lot. I'd give her the choreography. I'd say, okay, we're gonna go tendu to the side, and then we're gonna go pique pique, pas de bourrée. So in that moment, they're learning position. Okay,
Okay.
that's a part of the fundamentals. So they're learning what first position is. They're learning body placement and alignment. They're learning terminology. Um, Oftentimes, I will go back and give them the translation. If we have a class that is maybe split ESL and English speaking, I will go, here's the thing, guys. Ella habla español y solamente entiende español. That means that she speaks Spanish and she only understands Spanish. And you speak English and only understand English. But ballet is in French. So I'm going to give you the terminology and the translation. We're going to take this trip around the world and connect it all together, so we can all be united. So while we're learning those things and figuring out grace and etiquette, we're promoting them to be proficient at the same time. But we're also reminding them that in order to get to that next step of that fancy step, because back to Bella, when I give her the step, she kind of just go everywhere. And I'm like, what's happening? Is that what I showed you? And she's like, Miss Christina, the ballerina in my head is doing this. And
Okay.
I was like, okay. I was like, I get it. For a little girl, she has her ballet slippers, she has the skirt, she has the tutu. She's that ballerina that she's seen at Bass Hall.
Okay.
She just hasn't cultivated the skills. So I
Okay.
have to remind them that in order to get there, it's just like in school. We've got to learn our ABCs and have phonemic awareness for those that are teachers, in order to be able to do sight words, in order to be able to read those flashcards, in order to do those grade one readers, and to work up to level three. I'm a homeschool mom, so we have a great homeschool program, by the way, if you guys are interested. But in
That's really
order to
good too.
do those things, we've got to start with the
We
ABCs.
could have had a subject on that. Homeschooling. Hey, but how were you able to ever reach her? Because sometimes
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
were.
Yes, absolutely. And she still has a love for dance. They moved to another city. They're on the other side of Mansfield
Oh,
now.
okay.
But she stayed with me for about 5 years. I was invited to her quinceañera, maybe what, 2 years ago? Because all my kids are my kids forever. So I support them in everything that they do. And so I had the privilege of being at her Miss Rosales's
Oh, that's
quinceañera.
nice.
So yeah.
That's real
And
nice.
then you as far as fundamentals.
Um, for me, when I teach fundamentals, it's kind of like how Christina explained it for dance, but mine is more for the theater arts. You need to know your ABCs for theater, so you need to know how to slate when you're auditioning, which means you need to know how to introduce yourself at an
Mm-hmm.
audition. You need to know how to break down your script and know if it's a cold read or warm read. Meaning, if you're seeing the script for the first time, or if you've seen the script a million times, what are your notes? How are you going to memorize your script? And then memorizing where you are on stage. How do we memorize that? Especially if there's other furniture on stage, how are you going to get to point A to point B, with your blocking and everything on stage? So I try to teach the ABCs with that, but I do allow my students a little bit of creative freedom with that as well, because I know if someone were to just say, I need you to go from this chair to this chair, you can do one dot to another dot with nothing special. But how are you going to drag out your line whenever you're delivering it? And so I do allow them to have creative freedom so that they don't feel like, oh, well, she's just telling me what to do. No, I want you to have a little bit of your own spin on it. Um, and so I let them try to figure it out. And then if I see kind of where they're headed with that, then I just try to guide them into a more I guess slimmed down way of how to get down there. So yeah. That's
Okay,
what
I
I would
have
say.
some more questions. Thank you. I have some more questions, but I'm gonna ask: has there ever been a time that you, uh, I don't know how you would have told the child, but have there ever been a time that you said this child is not compatible with
Let
this
me tell.
skill, particular skill? This is not gonna work.
Okay, so everybody's capable. I'll put it that way. We can all learn, right? However, because I'm a parent, even before I was a parent, I understand that most people don't have a tree in their backyard with money, right? So if they do have a student, and sometimes it's not even aptitude and ability, sometimes it's passion, love, focus, determination, desire to do this as an activity, whether it's a theater class, a dance class, a music class, whatever it may be. Um, they may have wanted to be an ice skater, and their mom put them in the class,
She's
and they
reflecting on herself.
never were sold on it. They never got
Okay,
that love
okay,
for it,
okay.
right?
You develop.
And so when that happens, and I have students that come, one of the things that I do is I tell the parents, because there's some parents that are like, I don't know, I don't want to waste my money. And I'm like, I get it. I don't want you to waste your money. There's checks and balances in theater. There's checks and balances in the arts in general, and it's proficiency. That's where we figure out if they know what they're doing and if they're learning. Um, so we have a small window, which is usually about 3 weeks or so, because by the fourth week, we will have a conversation of like, hey, how did we get here? We probably already asked the kid in class, like, hey, did you want to take dance? Or hey, did you want to be in theater? And they're like, no, my mama just signed me up. And we're like, of course she did. We can see that because you don't listen. You're running
Okay,
around the room. So sometimes those things happen. And I go, okay, I'm going to mention it to her. Because we
okay,
don't want parents making that
yeah,
investment on the second month, the third month, the fourth month. And then
okay,
we get down to productions in December or in the spring going to Mayfest or special
yeah,
events, and your kid is standing there, doesn't know what they're doing. They're running
yeah.
around the
You don't
room.
want that.
So we
Yeah,
usually will have a conversation. Now, if the kid has the aptitude and the ability, we go back and say, hey, like, we're not perfect today, but I was probably close to awful, like I mentioned earlier, for years.
yeah.
It's going to need a little nurturing.
Okay,
And Rome wasn't built in a day. And so I remind the parents that even though you may be looking at like, oh, okay, I is in this class with maybe Justice or someone who's been here for 3 or 4 years. They started when they were 3. Now they're 7. She's got 4 years on your kid of training and understanding terminology, all of those things. They're going to look a little different.
yeah.
And so we let them know that we're going to work towards that proficiency and evolving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like how you. Okay, we're gonna ask a few more questions because we're getting close to that time,
Okay.
winding down. So, how do you prepare students for auditions or performances?
So I think every class is close to
Yeah, I
being
agree.
something that's prepping them for it.
Okay,
We don't miss any opportunities in our learning process. So, like she mentioned as well, figuring out what slating is, understanding the audition preparation. Um, we put on productions and we do casting. So they go through all of those motions on a regular basis to have that understanding. For students who need that little, maybe a little bit more attention and that one-on-one, we offer private lessons, and so in that they get complete consultation on the ins and outs of everything that they want to do. So I know she's mentioned she's a doer. All of our teachers and our instructors are doers, meaning we've lived it, we've done it, we've been in
okay,
that position.
okay,
And so we can tell you the exact of like, this is exactly how you need to wear your hair. This is probably exactly what you need to do when you walk in. This is what you need to do. Make eye contact. They're going to call you from the door and you're going to say this or you're going to do this. We teach them and prepare them.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you make it sound so easy.
I
But
think
I've
it's
worked with
second
kids.
nature,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think
I
it's
know
second
this is
nature to
optional
them.
Yeah.
for them in school. It's mandatory, But that's good. You don't have any incorrigible key. Do you
Right.
have
We usually have kids that want to be there because, again,
that?
also
That's
we have
good.
that 3 week of like, hey, you
And
want to
plus,
be
they
here?
have to pay. Maybe that's
They do, or they could be on scholarship, but
parents.
we also come back and say, hey, do
Oh,
you want to
okay,
be here? What
okay.
do you want to do? What
Okay, the
what
kids
sparks
get
their interest?
scholarships. When I mentioned scholarships, I was thinking about your program would be instrumental in getting them scholarships to a higher education. I
Absolutely.
didn't know that scholarships to get into your
So
program.
no, but yeah, for higher
That's
education, we
good.
prep them in that sense.
But they can get
Um,
scholarships to be a part of your program. They can get monies.
there is opportunities for
Oh,
that.
that's wonderful. Y'all
And
hear
then
that?
all of the students, like I mentioned before, through Imagination Fort Worth, that get to see our instructors because we're teaching
Okay,
artists for them,
that's good.
um, get scholarship classes through Fort Worth ISD and Imagination Fort Worth's program.
That's wonderful.
Um, and then in regards to scholarship post, like if you're a student inside of our brick and mortar at Cosmopolitan, we do have students that have gone to school on full
Mm.
rides for the arts.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they actually get to train,
That's wonderful.
they cultivate their skills and perfect it. So then you guys get that return on your investment of monthly tuition. And now you're not paying for college. So we've had students at AMDA, LA, the American Music and Dramatic Academy in Los Angeles, California, that campus. We also
Okay,
have a New York campus, but they chose LA. And they came out with a BFA in dance.
okay.
We've also had students have gone to Tyler Junior College because you can get your 2 years done, and that's a lot more economical. So, but they are home to the world-renowned and famous Apache Bells, and so they had the opportunity to get into college. I think she paid $800 for her first 2 years of college total.
Okay.
So that's been amazing. We have other students in other college programs. We have a student that's at OU in Oklahoma right now. She graduated last year and she's on OU Elite Dance Team.
Oh, how
Super
beautiful.
proud of Trinity for that. And so, yeah, our kids do have post high school opportunity.
That's wonderful.
Hmm.
And for Sydney, what role does storytelling play in your ASL curriculum? Okay. What role does
For
storytelling?
for storytelling in ASL, I have tried to bring both of those together because honestly, that is a pretty difficult thing to bring together.
Okay.
One because you are teaching a language. It's probably not difficult for someone else, but it is difficult for me. Um, because with ASL, you're teaching a whole language. You're teaching a whole language and you're teaching
Yeah.
a whole culture. And that's something not a lot of people understand whenever I teach ASL, I want to teach you the culture of it. Because I don't want you to sign something and be like, oh, well, if
Yeah.
it's wrong, it's wrong. No, you're saying a whole other thing that you probably shouldn't be saying. So, yeah. So, I want to teach you the culture of it. And then also with that, you are going to tell a story because with ASL, it's not just your hands that are moving. It's not
I'm
just your hands that are moving.
He
It's
said, well,
your whole body that's moving while you're signing. And so you are telling a story through your body while you are communicating with someone. So I would say I think that's how I can incorporate ASL and storytelling together. I
what
would
I
say
am
that.
really impressed in, you've been such a great guest, and
Mhm.
I know we're gonna encourage everybody to get your kids, or like they said, they have these other classes that older people can get into, some of the performing arts, but you can get your kids involved, get them from off the couch or in front of those little screens, and have them involved and active. And this is one way you can do it with Miss Christina, and now working together with Miss Sydney. Y'all give it up again for these wonderful guests
Thank
that
you.
have so much to offer to the community, and they seem well versed in what they're doing. But next week we're gonna have, uh, by popular demand. Can I tell him, Mr. Willie? We're gonna have a very, very special guest, and some of you in this area might already know her, and others, outside the area might not. But when we connect you with the things that she was instrumental in helping out, Miss Jewel Blanton Kelly is going to be here with us, and uh, just read up on it. You'll find out some things. But I would want to invite all of you to come back and join and stay in touch and keep up with what is happening, because there are a lot of things going on that are great happening here. We're going to keep you informed and keep you blessed in knowing and connecting with all these great people like Miss Christina and Miss Sydney. Give it up one more time. Thank you. That ends our broadcast, our podcast for today. Ordinary Conversations for Extraordinary People. We'll see you next week.